Andre's whistling and drunken laughter instantly transformed a small glimmer of hope amidst the chaos. After about 30 minutes, the ambulance arrived. If Andre hadn't maintained pressure on Louise's injured limb, Louise could have succumbed to shock.
Patterns and the ecological role they played in the marine ecosystem. Among the eager teenagers drawn to this once-in-a-lifetime chance was 16-year-old Emma. With her fiery red hair, sparkling green eyes, and an insatiable thirst for adventure, Emma possessed an unyielding fascination with the ocean and its captivating inhabitants. Growing up in a coastal town, she spent countless hours exploring the sandy shores, often dreaming of the mysteries that lay hidden beneath the turquoise waves. Emma had immersed herself in the study of marine biology, voraciously devouring books and documentaries that chronicled majestic marine life. Her room was adorned with posters of vibrant coral reefs and magnificent sea creatures, a testament to her unwavering passion. Emma's heart danced with the excitement when the opportunity arose to participate in the research project on great white sharks. Driven by an insatiable curiosity and a yearning for a deeper understanding of the ocean's wonders, Emma applied for a spot on the boat excursion. A hush fell over the crowd as the boat glided farther from the shore. All eyes were drawn to the knowledgeable guide at the front, who wore a weathered smile that spoke of countless encounters with the wonders of the deep. With a steady voice, he began to recount tales of the legendary inhabitants of these waters, capturing the attention of his captivated audience. Among the stories, one creature held a special place of fascination: the great white shark. Its presence alone could stir both awe and fear in the hearts of those who sought to witness its majestic power. The guide described its sleek and formidable silhouette, its rows of razor-sharp teeth, breathtaking display of raw power. A great white shark, larger than any they had ever imagined. Its colossal body soared gracefully into the air, water droplets shimmering like diamonds in the sunlight before cascading back into the sea. In an instant, the beast lunged toward Emma with lightning speed. Its razor-sharp teeth sank into her leg, clamping down with bone-crushing force. Agonizing pain shot through her body, as if every nerve was set ablaze. The world around her blurred into a frenzy of thrashing water and desperate cries for help. Emma's vision wavered. The challenge was simple yet daring: jump overboard and plunge into the frigid Bahamian waters. Fueled by the festive atmosphere and unwilling to turn down a challenge, Cameron accepted without hesitation. Cameras trained on him. A crowd of students watched in anticipation, while others stood in disbelief. At around 11:30 p.m., the young athlete leaped off the boat, immersing himself into the mysterious depths of the Bahamian Sea. As he dived into the water, a grainy smartphone camera captured the unfolding drama, documenting the reactions of those on the boat deck. In response to Cameron's plunge, a life preserver was swiftly thrown into the water, intended to serve as his lifeline back to safety. However, amidst the chaos, something peculiar transpired. Rather than swimming towards the life preserver, Cameron turned his attention away from it, swimming in the opposite direction. The voices captured on the video echoed with panic and urgency, revealing the growing sense of unease among the witnesses. The video, a testament to the events that unfolded, quickly spread across social media platforms, captivating the attention of millions, particularly on TikTok. Internet sleuths and social media users became engrossed in the footage, noticing an eerie anomaly that sent shivers down their spines. Upon reviewing the video, many claimed to have spotted a shadowy figure lurking near the life preserver, casting doubts on what had truly transpired. Opinions ranged from the logical to the outlandish, with common comments suggesting that Cameron had encountered a shark nearby. Some even went so far as to propose that the young man had already fallen victim to a shark. The waters surrounding the Bahamas teemed with diverse marine life, including the formidable tiger sharks. Speculators contended that it was this species of shark that Cameron had encountered. Tiger sharks are known for their opportunistic and versatile hunting habits, preying on various creatures. Yet, it was crucial to note that while these sharks were skilled hunters, they rarely targeted humans. Shark attacks on humans were infrequent, often a result of mistaken identity or mere curiosity. Butch Hendrick, a renowned public safety dive training expert, dismissed the notion that Cameron had fallen victim to a shark attack, stating that the creature's behavior in the water didn't align with typical shark behavior. Nevertheless, tiger sharks could inflict significant harm, often taking sizable bites before realizing their error and abandoning theirs combined. The possibility of a non-shark-related tragedy loomed ominously. So, what truly happened to Cameron Robbins? Despite the crew's and local authorities' exhaustive efforts to locate the young man or recover his body, no sign of Cameron was ever found. Weeks turned into...
Charlie was taken aback when he spotted the beach. He couldn't believe such a paradise was in his country. Vivon Bay has abounded with a crescent of white sand lapped by turquoise waters. Its sea was like a rippling blanket of brochure blue with the waves rippling gently. All got knee-deep. Linda, being experienced, dived into the water quickly and began diving. The others had to do the same and went their separate ways. Linda, an influencer on social media, went far underneath the water to take a selfie of herself to upload on her accounts. After taking the picture, she saw an attractive starfish and tried catching it. The starfish escaped, and Linda followed it in an attempt to catch it. Before she knew it, her scuba tank oxygen was about to exhaust. Although Linda successfully captured the sea creature, she had wasted her oxygen and was far from the beach. Even if she tries swimming, she won't be able to swim for so long. Suddenly, she saw a yacht sailing slowly, not too far from her. She screamed at it to alert any occupant but couldn't be heard as no one was on the deck, so she glided toward it. By this time, she had removed the mask from her face as the oxygen had completely been exhausted. The tank was on her back because she didn't want to lose it to the sea. While swimming towards her savior, she looked sideways to catch her breath, and her eyes saw something glide across her. She became very nervous about what it could be and stopped while looking here and there for any further signs. However, she couldn't contemplate as an 18-foot shark clamped its enormous teeth onto her stomach from underneath the water. She gave a terrifying cry that made the water ripple. Fortunately, the cry alerted the crew on the yacht, and they sailed toward her while she struggled to free herself from the shark's teeth. Little did she know that she was caught in the jaw of the biggest shark in Australia. The shark shook her violently, its razor-sharp teeth sinking deep into her abdomen before the yacht could reach the spot. One of the crew had a reload gun with which he fired at the shark, causing it to release its grip and swim away. Two of the crew went into the water to carry Linda into the yacht, but it was too late. The shark had torn her intestine beyond repair, and as soon as she reached the safety of the yacht, she took her final breath. Her body was carefully placed in a body bag, and they drove back to the shore because they believed some people would be looking for her. And it was true. The other three that entered the water didn't swim beyond the demarcated area. After depleting their oxygen supply, the three swam back to the surface, only to realize that Linda had not resurfaced with them. Charlie ventures into the water again without any tank and searches for her, but she can't be found. They waited anxiously, not until the body bag was brought out of the yacht. Charlie ran toward them to check if it was his wife and himself from any danger, land or water. He drove him to the swamp area of Lima after calling his brother about the visit. Jose eagerly awaited snorkel, fins, and life jackets and followed him into the water. They were amazed by the beauty and diversity of the underwater world. They saw colorful fish of all shapes and sizes, swaying coral formations, graceful sea turtles, playful dolphins, and even a stingray. They felt like they were in a dream. They followed Carlos as he led them to a deeper area where he said they might see some sharks. Jenny was excited and hopeful, while Paul was nervous and cautious. They scanned the water for any signs of movement or shadows. Suddenly, Jenny spotted something in the distance. It was a large, dark shape that moved slowly and gracefully through the water. She recognized it as a tiger shark. It was about 15 feet long and had distinctive stripes on its body. It looked majestic and powerful. She tapped Paul's shoulder and pointed at the shark. Paul saw it too and felt a surge of fear. He wanted to get away from it as soon as possible. He looked at Carlos for guidance. Carlos saw the shark too and signaled them to stay calm and still. He said it was normal for tiger sharks to approach divers out of curiosity. He said that it would swim by them without harming them. He was wrong. The tiger shark changed its course and headed straight for Paul. Its mouth gaped open and revealed its rows of razor-sharp teeth. It bit down hard on Paul's left arm and shoulder. Paul felt an excruciating pain as the shark tore into his flesh and bone. He screamed in agony and terror. He tried to fight back by punching and clawing at the shark's eyes and gills with his remaining arm. Jenny heard Paul scream and saw his blood spilling into the water. She was horrified and panicked. She wanted to help him but didn't know what to do. Carlos heard Paul scream too, and he knew something terrible was happening. He knew that he had to act fast. He grabbed his paddle and swam towards Paul and the shark. He hit the shark's snout with his paddle as hard as possible. He hoped that this would make the shark release Paul and flee. Every paddle hit reverberated throughout the shark's body and Carlos's arms. The shark let go of Paul's shoulder, recoiled in pain, and retreated to the ocean's depths. Upon releasing its deadly bite, the extent of the damage was unfathomable. Rows of puncture wounds lined across Paul's shoulder. Torn flesh and ripped skin exposed parts of his collarbone and shoulder blades. Despite being repulsed by the scene, Carlos grabbed Paul's arm and dragged him towards the boat. He shouted for help and told the other tourists to escape the water. Jenny tried to stop Paul's bleeding with her shirt. She cried and prayed for his survival. Carlos called for beach rescue, applying pressure to Paul's wound to keep him conscious. Paul was in shock, losing a lot of blood. He felt cold and weak. He smiled at Jenny, expressing his love for her. Jenny held his remaining hand, reassuring him that everything was. Sun began to set over the shimmering water of Aliwal Shoal, casting a warm golden glow on the beach. Zuri Nwachukwu, a 15-year-old boy passionate about the ocean, stood at the edge of the surf with his two companions, Malik and Gamba, both 16 years old. They were eager to spend the evening riding the waves and enjoying their summer break. Aliwal Shoal is an enchanting submerged reef off the coast of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. The beautiful tranquil water beckons adventurers and ocean enthusiasts alike. Its crystal-clear waters and teeming marine life create an idyllic setting for swimmers, snorkelers, and divers. But beneath the serene surface lies a thrilling secret: the presence of the magnificent tiger sharks. With their striking striped patterns and imposing presence, they reign as the rulers of these waters. As Zuri and his friends walked into the water, they were having a great time, laughing and splashing around. They had no idea that this day, which seemed so perfect, was about to become a terrifying experience they would never forget. The group, in the summer of 2002, on a sunny day in Serene Isle, 3 adventurous friends, Mark Alexson, Sarah Thompson, and Mike Roberts, set out on a thrilling shell-collecting expedition. They were all in their early 20s, brimming with youthful energy and a passion for exploring the ocean's wonders. At 22 years old, Mark was a marine enthusiast with dreams of becoming a marine biologist. Sarah, also 22, was a spirited and curious soul, always seeking new adventures. Mike, 24 years old, was the level-headed and dependable one in the group, with a love for problem-solving and an innate sense of responsibility. Together, they were the perfect trio for this exciting coastal adventure. The friends knew the waters around Serene Isle were also home to some sharks, but they Aboard the ship, the monitor observed as the majestic bull shark approached Heather in the water. The rest of the crew, who had already swum to safety, watched as the shark submerged and swiftly emerged from the depths. Its enormous jaws were wide open as it seized Heather by her right ankle. A crew member on the rigid inflatable boat tossed a broom handle for Heather to grasp. Unfortunately, before she could escape the water, the formidable bull shark attacked again, just when they believed the ordeal was over. With serrated teeth, the shark sank its bite into Heather's left leg, around the mid-thigh, forcefully pulling her back into the water. Her blood tainted the surrounding water, turning it a deep red, and suddenly, all became eerily quiet. The shark vanished beneath the surface, and Heather was nowhere to be seen. For a brief moment, the ocean fell silent, devoid of any movement. Then, after what felt like an eternity, a resounding splash shattered the stillness. Heather refused to succumb without a fight. Against all odds, she managed to resurface. Terrified crew members on the boat seized her hands, desperately attempting to haul her on board. Regrettably, the relentless bull shark retained its grip on her flesh, refusing to release. A fierce battle ensued, with the crew striving to liberate Heather from the clot. Unfortunately, the fishermen are unaware that their nets have captured a significant number of steenbras. Compounding the situation, the water is tainted with fish blood due to the recent fishing activities. As the group maneuvers through the perilous ocean waters for nearly 1.5 kilometers, they eventually hoist their nets from the sea and make the startling discovery of the illegal fish they unwittingly caught. Mindful of the fishing protocols, the experienced fishermen take a break and release the steenbras into the bay. Little do they know, however, that a colossal great bull shark has been lured by the aroma of their abundant catch and trailed them from just a few meters away. As they work to free the steenbras, everything seems to be going smoothly, until the group notices an enormous fin piercing the water's surface next to their boat. According to an article from sharktrust.org, nearly 2/3 of a shark's brain is dedicated to its sense of smell alone. In fact, sharks can detect even a teaspoon of blood in an average of 375,000 liters of water. This implies that an open pool of fish blood shark circles their boat, its gaze fixated on the trapped school of fish. Surprisingly, it refrains from attacking. After a few more circuits around the boat, the massive bull shark abruptly changes course, causing horror to grip the men as it heads straight towards Fishhook Beach. On a bustling day in the waters, the clock strikes 7 in the morning, with a gentle breeze flowing from the south to the southeast, creating no ripples to conceal the sound of her splashing arms and legs. Unfortunately, this alluring commotion is a strong magnet for inquisitive sharks, equipped to detect minute vibrations in the water, a technique they often employ to locate wounded fish near the surface. Despite around 30 to 40 individuals on the shore, only 2 people, including Sarah, ventured into the water. Continuing her swim, Sarah is suddenly met with a colossal fin emerging from the water approximately 25 yards away. Just as Sarah transitions from a backstroke to a breaststroke, completely unaware, she inadvertently positions herself directly in front of the approaching shark. In an instant, she freezes in terror, locking eyes with the sharp gaze of an immensely massive great bull shark. The creature swiftly breaches the surface in front of her, triggering a surge of adrenaline through her veins. Sarah desperately attempted to swim away from the massive and powerful shark, utilizing all her strength. However, it quickly became apparent that outrunning the shark was impossible. In a horrifying sequence of events, the shark lunged at her with incredible speed, delivering a devastating bite to her abdomen. Witnesses watched in horror as the water turned crimson around Sarah, the shark releasing her momentarily before striking again, causing her torso to rupture and her intestines to spill out. The scene resembled something out of a nightmarish movie, showing no mercy. The shark circled Sarah's motionless body, attacking from a different angle. It clamped onto Sarah's fragile frame with a final ferocious strike, shaking her violently to tear chunks of flesh before seizing her for the final time, dragging her beneath the surface, never to be seen again. The onlookers, paralyzed by fear and horror, could only watch as the shark's dorsal fin disappeared into the depths, leaving an overwhelming dread. Rescue teams, including boats from the National Sea Rescue Institute, a patrol craft from the South African Navy, and a Red SkyMed helicopter were deployed to search for Sarah's remains. After an extensive search, the officer in the helicopter eventually spotted the shark near Clovelly, close to Fishhook. Reports confirmed that this immense bull shark exceeded 20 feet in length, dwarfing the size of the helicopter itself. Despite the determined efforts of the search and rescue teams, no traces of where she guided them to swim with dolphins. The dolphins were curious and playful, swimming around and under them, making clicking and whistling noises. Michelle felt joy as she watched them interact with each other and the humans. She smiled and waved at them, trying to communicate with them. She connected with these amazing animals she had admired for so long. Everyone was having fun, including Michelle. She felt like she was living her dream. She did not notice anything unusual or alarming in the water. She did not see any signs of danger or distress from the dolphins or boat crew. She did not hear any warnings or alarms from anyone. She did not feel any fear or anxiety. She only felt a searing pain emanating from her right leg. The pain was immediately followed by a sudden tug, trying to drag her underwater. When Michelle looked down to check what was happening, she was engulfed with horror, as she saw a 10-foot great white shark biting her right leg. The shark's mouth was wide open, revealing razor-sharp teeth pierced through her flesh and bone. Blood was gushing out of her wound, coloring the water red. Amidst the initial shock, Michelle managed to summon a piercing scream that instantly caught the attention of both the swimming tourists nearby and the crew aboard the boat. Fueled by adrenaline, she instinctively attempted to defend herself by kicking the shark with her left leg and thrashing in the water, hoping to deter the relentless attack. However, her efforts seemed to have the opposite effect, as each movement from her leg only seemed to agitate the aggressive predator further. As Michelle's flesh was already torn from the shark's teeth, attempting to pull away only worsened her injuries, intensifying her pain. To make matters worse, the shark retaliated by tugging her deeper into the water, making her desperate situation even more perilous. The crew aboard the boat reacted swiftly upon hearing Michelle's screams, ready to jump into the water and save their friend and co-worker. However, before they could act, one of the brave tourists swimming nearby took matters into his own hands. Unfazed by the danger, he selflessly voluntarily swam towards Michelle and the shark. Then he dove underwater and grabbed the shark's gills, which were located on the sides of its head. He yanked them hard, trying to pull the shark away from Michelle. The shark recoiled in pain and released its bite on Michelle's leg. It turned its attention towards Todd, who had just become its new target. The shark lunged at Todd, but he was ready. He punched the shark in its snout, which was another sensitive area. He could feel that the punch landed solidly on its target. The shark was disoriented, and Todd used the opportunity to kick it once again on its snout. The shark recoiled in pain and retreated into the depths. Meanwhile, Michelle was not able to swim anymore. The only thing keeping her alive was her life vest. She was losing blood rapidly and almost about to pass out when Todd got to her. He wrapped his arms around her and supported her as he swam towards the boat, coming closer to them. He shouted for help, and the crew quickly hoisted them aboard. The crew applied pressure on Michelle's injured leg to stem the bleeding. They also wrapped it with a tourniquet and a bandage. They tried to calm her down and reassure her that everything would be okay. The group and the other tourists scrambled towards the boat, fearing that the shark might attack them next. They were all shaken and traumatized by what they had witnessed. Some were crying and screaming, others were silent and in shock. Luckily, the shark did not return. No second attack for visitors and locals alike. Oahu boasted stunning beaches, majestic mountains, lush rainforests, and rich history and culture. It was also a hotspot for diverse wildlife, including dolphins, whales, turtles, and sharks. Gwen stayed at a beachfront hotel in Waikiki, the most popular tourist destination on the island. She did many activities during her entire stay on the island, from snorkeling to diving, bar hopping, and even attending a luau party. She was in a tropical paradise and shared all these experiences with her readers. On the fourth day of her Hawaiian vacation, Gwen decided to try island hopping. She joined a group of tourists who boarded a boat that would take them to some of the neighboring islands of Oahu. They went to Molokai, Kauai, and Maui. During the last part of their island hopping escapade, the boat they were in docked at Lanai, the sixth largest island in Hawaii. While in Lanai, Gwen asked the guide if swimming was okay before they left the beautiful yet secluded island. The guide agreed, and Gwen and the other tourists took a dip in the cool waters. Gwen was having fun and felt relaxed in the serene atmosphere of Lanai. She swam away from the boat and admired this island paradise's clear blue water and idyllic beauty. As she was wading serenely on the water, Gwen suddenly felt something rough brush against her leg. She looked down to check what it was, but didn't see anything. She thought it might have been a piece of seaweed or coral that touched her skin. She shrugged it off and continued swimming towards the boat. But before she could reach the vehicle, she felt excruciating pain in her right leg, as if a vice was gripping harder and harder, accompanied by countless knives piercing her skin. She looked down again, but she saw what creature was causing her so much pain this time. It was a 9-foot tiger shark, and it was gnawing at her leg. The initial shock was immediately replaced by fear and panic. Gwen let out a piercing scream that echoed across the water. In her panic, Gwen punched the shark's rough hide repeatedly, but her weak blows did little to deter the shark. The shark started tugging her, trying to pull her under, but her life vest kept her afloat. The struggle between the shark and Gwen ensued. The shark started thrashing while Gwen fought for her life. Upon hearing her screams, the boat crew named Jalal leaped from the boat and towards the hysterical victim. Jalal was a 35-year-old Hawaiian native working as a boat captain and guide for over a decade. He had seen his share of shark encounters and knew how to handle them. Jalal, armed with a knife, started attacking the rampaging shark. He stabbed the shark's rough hide with all his might. The knife barely pierced the shark's leathery skin, but it was enough to deter its attack on Gwen. Jalal then focused his attention on the shark's gills. Digging his fingers deep inside the gills of the beast, he tried pulling it away from Gwen. The shark recoiled as it was attacked on its vulnerable spot. The shark released its grip on Gwen's leg as it retreated to the depths. Jalal immediately summoned all the tourists to return to the boat and asked the other crew to hoist him and Gwen aboard. The crew immediately applied first aid to Gwen's injured leg. Together, they embark on unforgettable adventures, capturing the beauty of the ocean through Alex's surfing and Nicole's lens. On a bright summer morning, Alex and Nicole set out for a day of surfing and photography in the cove. Little do they know that their journey will lead them to a heart-stopping encounter with one of the ocean's most feared predators. As the two friends paddle out into the surf, the waves crash around them, and the salty breeze fills the air with excitement. Unbeknownst to them, a massive great white